Good morning. Happy rainy Tuesday morning to each of you. I hope that you're doing well today, whatever you're up to, if you're studying from home, working from home, or even if you're out and about a little bit today. But I wanted to give you a Tuesday morning truth that I'm praying will be a blessing to you, as it has greatly encouraged me. Just a simple phrase here from the Gospel according to Mark. Let me read a few verses and then just highlight a phrase that is repeated here at the end of chapter 4 and the beginning of chapter 5. So this is Mark chapter 4, and let me begin reading in verse number 35. The Bible says this, "In the same day when the even was come, he saith unto them, Let us pass over unto the other side. And when they had sent away the multitude, they took him even as he was in the ship, and there were also with him other little ships." Verse 37 says, "And there arose a great storm of wind, and the waves beat into the ship, so that it was now full. And he was in the hinder part of the ship, asleep on a pillow. And they awake him and say unto him, Master, carest thou not that we perish? And he arose and rebuked the wind, and said unto the sea, Peace, be still. And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. And he said to them, Why are ye so fearful? How is it that ye have no faith? And they feared exceedingly, and said one to another, What manner of man is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him? Now chapter 5 and verse 1 says this, And they came over unto the other side of the sea, into the country of the Gadarenes. Now, twice in this short reading, we find that phrase, the other side. Verse 35 of Mark chapter 4, Jesus said to his disciples, Let us pass over unto the other side. And then in chapter 5 and verse 1, it says, And they came over unto the other side of the sea, into the country of the Gadarenes. The other side. Now, it's encouraging that Jesus, he promised his disciples, before they set sail, before the storm came, he had promised them, he said, we're going to pass over onto the other side. And just reading that phrase this morning, rereading it here in Mark, it encouraged me, because when you're in the middle of something, it feels like, it seems like you're never going to get to the other side. These disciples, as a matter of fact, they thought that they were going to perish. They woke up Jesus and they said, Master, carest thou not that we perish? Now we need to be cautious, because Jesus here, it's not that he's unconcerned, he's just unalarmed. He cared deeply for these disciples, just as he cares deeply for you and he cares deeply for me. He knows the storms of life that we're going through. He knows this pandemic that we're facing and the difficulties of this type of season we're in. But Jesus here, he brings about a great calm. Peace be still, he says. And then they come to the other side, and he questioned them, where was your faith? So what I just want to remind you about this Tuesday morning, this truth, is that we're going to get to the other side of this. I know it may feel like we'll never get beyond this COVID-19 pandemic, but we will get to the other side. We just need to trust God's promise. We need to look to the Lord. If he says we're going to pass over, we'll pass over. Now, that doesn't mean that there won't be difficulties and problems and trials along the way. There's challenges. I know that for some of you watching, there's some difficulties. There's some loneliness, some fear, some worry. There's things that trouble you. And you just want to be to the other side, but we're not there yet. But we know we will get there by God's grace. Let me share this. We were coming into the church the other day, and I told my kids, I said, I want you guys to jump out of the car, and I want you to gather up all the driveway snow markers. You know, those yellow or orange stakes that you put different places so that the snowplow guy doesn't take all your gravel away or shave off all the sod. So you can clearly mark the boundaries of the parking lot. So we had those out, and we didn't have a lot of snow this winter. But I said, guys, we're in April now, and more than likely the snow's done. Now, watch me say that, and we'll have a blizzard here in the next few weeks. But I said, guys, gather those up. So they gathered up all those stakes. And it reminded me that one season has finished, another season has arrived. Aren't you glad that spring season is upon us? Boy, the beautiful trees. And please don't overlook the beauty of spring because we're so caught up in this coronavirus thing. Notice the tree, they're just beautiful, the blossoms, the trees. We were in a season, and sometimes the winter season seems like forever, but we'll come to the other side. Now we're on the other side of that. The same is true about this current season of life that you're in. We're going to get to the other side. And ultimately, we'll get to the other side and we'll be with God in glory. And that's a wonderful thing to think about our future as Christians. But I'm just trying to encourage you this morning, the other side. The other side. We'll get to the other side, but it's through trusting the promises of God, keeping our faith strong in Him, the one that controls all these things, the ones that speaks peace into our hearts and souls. So I'm encouraged this morning. I hope you're encouraged. I hope you have a great Tuesday. I hope that you'll meditate upon God and His Word, trust His promises. We're going to get through this, I promise you. We'll meet again. We'll have a wonderful time of fellowship. But until then, let's trust the Lord, stay faithful. Have a great Tuesday. We're praying for you.